Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an answer to not a situation, but a video that I made on the 28th. On the 28th, I made a video for 20 books that I wanted to read by April 7th. So this would start the 29th, so it would be a 10-day challenge. Could I read 2 books a day for 10 days? So at this point, I think I'm going to just put in a quick reel to show the 20 books that I thought I would read. Now, did I meet the challenge or did I fail the challenge? Well, let's see. Yes, I met the challenge of reading 20 books in 10 days, but no, I failed the challenge because I didn't read the 20 books that I had set out. So let's take a look at the books that I wanted to read, and by now I would have flipped through. When I edit this, I'm going to flip through the covers. Now, there's a couple of books that I took off of this list, and the 2 books I took off were The Hobbit, because I just don't have time to read that trilogy, The Hobbit and the trilogy right now, and Robert McCaw's book, Death of a Messenger. Those are the only 2 books that when I recycle this list that I won't read. So as you can see there, I wanted to read Sally Hepworth's The Younger Wife, Deanna Rayburn's The Impossible Imposter, Her Silent Prayer by M.M. Chouinard, The Pilot's Girl by Catherine Holken, At Least You Have Your Health by Mighty Sinha, A Plot Most Perilous by Genevieve Essig, The Killer's Family, I think that was by Miranda Smith, as I mentioned, The Hobbit. Then there's Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and again I mentioned Death of a Messenger by Robert McCaw. And then The Scent of Burnt Flowers, and that, I can't quite see that, Blitz Bazawuli, and then 214 Palmer Street by Karen McQuestion. And then I have My 7 Black Fathers by Will Joando, The Echoes by Jess Montgomery, The In Bloom Trilogy by Fern Michaels, Carolyn Brown, and Laurie Foster. Then there's a girl The Girl on Lamaha Street. I don't know why it's not letting me enhance it, but Sharon Moss, Deception Most Deadly. Let's see. I don't know why I have A Deception Most Deadly on here, because I read that last year, so that's just a mistake. And then If You Ask Me by Libby Hubscher. And then It's the End of the World, I'm in My Bathing Suit by Justin A. Reynolds, and Unmasked, My Life Solving Cold Cases by Paul Holes, which is going to sit right here on my, it's going to sit right here on my desk until I read it. It's true crime about serial killers, finding serial killers or the worst cold cases. I don't think it comes out to the 26th of April, so I still have some time to read it. So those were the 20 books that on the 28th, and I think I can put even like a link to that video somewhere in this video. So now, like I said, of that 20 books, I didn't get them all read. In fact, I only read 9. Okay, and I think I might share a quick clip on the 9 that I read. I'm not sure if I will or not. And tell you which ones I actually read. And in case I decide not to put in a clip, we can just repeat those really quickly. A Plot Most Perilous, 214 Palmer Street, The Pilot's Girl, At Least You Have Your Health, The Echoes, The End of the World Is Coming, I'm in My Bathing Suit, The Killer's Family, 214 Palmer Street, if I didn't already say that. I don't know if that's 9, but those are the ones that I read in The Echoes by Jess Montgomery. Those are the ones that I read from that batch. So what did I decide to do with regard to all the other books, minus the McCaw book and minus The Hobbit? What about all those other books on that list? What am I going to do? And why did I change that? Well, I changed it for a couple of reasons. One of the books that I had as an audiobook, which did not appear on the list, was Steel by James Patterson. And I'm trying to get ahead of my audiobook ARCs so that by the time I get my next batch of audiobook ARCs, and I get them from Hachette Audio, I won't have a backlog. So Steel was one of the last books in that batch of audiobook ARCs, and I found out that it's the third book in the Instinct series by James Patterson and Howard Rowan. So I decided to get Instinct and Killer Instinct and then read Steel. So that I put in those two books. Then the other thing I did, I said there were two reasons, is I took a closer look at my spreadsheet. I have a lot of spreadsheets, and I looked at my blog tour dates. And there were some dates that were creeping up on me, and I'm thinking, let's get all of those books read and get ahead a couple of days for the blog tour titles. So I chose to read a lot of those blog tour titles. And like I said, I had these audiobook ARCs, and that included Killer View by Roy Johansson and Truly Madly by Stephen Galloway. So I kind of had to get those, not had to, but just trying to make some kind of a pattern that works for me. So those are the reasons, is the audiobooks and the blog tour dates. So then something else happened is my thyroid medication ran low and I lost my energy, so I spent a lot of time in bed. And I knew that I could read more than 2 books a day if my energy level was up, but it wasn't. So I didn't stay on my objective because of not feeling well. And I just want to mention something. Somebody had said, oh, you haven't been in bed all this time. I've seen you said you've been diamond painting. And it's true. Every morning when I go to have my coffee, I diamond paint for a little while. Speaking of my coffee, I'm not sure where I put it because my cat's on my desk. Okay, there we go. So I will have my coffee, diamond paint for an hour, and then vegetate in bed for 22 hours. I mean, that's all I've been doing, is staying in bed. So even though I've been in bed, I've just been like putzing around on YouTube and Facebook and playing these little games, and I haven't even turned my television on other than to binge watch 2 series and to catch up on 3 of my shows. So I know when I turn the TV back on sometime this weekend, I probably have 6 shows that I'd like to catch up on. So when I entered that personal challenge, it was just something to see if I could do it until April 7th. That was a short-term goal that I met, but it won't be a long-term goal. It was just something to see whether or not I could do it and if I could make that achievement. I don't want to feel that I'm reading just for the sake of reading, or I'm consuming just for the sake of consuming and not getting anything out of the books that I'm reading. So I have to get better physically and even mentally before I decide what my next challenge will be. But for right now, I've got about 20 more blog tours for April, so that will be my chief focus. I do have other books that I do want to read in April. Let's go to those books, and I will tell you. I only put 10 of those books in my April week 2 reading list, and that includes Sally Hepworth's The Younger Wife and Deanna Rayburn's An Impossible Imposter. Now, those are not for blog tours, they're just in my queue. But then I have The Scent of Burnt Flowers, My 7 Black Fathers, and The Girl from Lamaha Street. I really want to read those 3. And then, like I said, I've got to read this true crime book. And then another book that I had in that original list was If You Ask Me by Libby Hupsher. About 40 to 50%, so I should finish that book in a couple of hours. So that one I'm almost done with. And then the next thing, like I said, I do have some blog tours to complete. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 16 more blog tours for April, so I want to get those read, and that will take those blog tours go up until April 27th. So I will basically just, you know, read a book and a half a day until I get to the end of April. So that was just to answer that question about whether or not I could commit to focusing enough to read at least 2 books a day. But I kind of wanted to push myself and read 2.5, even 3 books a day, but that didn't work. And it was impractical, so that's fine. And now I just will dial it down a bit. I did not cross stitch all week. Right here to my left is my diamond painting, and it's a big one. It might even be the biggest diamond painting that I have. So I just kind of want to focus on that for another week or so, and then I'll get back to my cross stitching. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to refer back to that goal. Because I sometimes will make a goal and then it's an open-ended goal and I never close it off. So I just wanted to close that off. All right, that's it for now. Bye, everybody.